Hey guys, Chubbs here, and I just wanted to sort of talk to you guys about and show you some of the really cool new things that id Software added into SnapMap in Doom Update 4. This came out back on October 19th, so this video is a little overdue, but I felt the need to show you guys this because they've added some awesome new things to SnapMap, and they also added arcade mode to the campaign, and they added a few multiplayer things, but SnapMap is really my focus here. So the first thing that will stick out is that they have added in classic modules that you can place. So if you remember back in Update 2 they added in Hell modules, and this time we have classic modules. And as you might expect, these are based on classic Doom. So you have like some rooms that are pretty much directly pulled from the original Doom Episode 1, like the E1M1 starting room. I think you have the starting area of Toxin Refinery with the the toxic pit, just some things like that. And there are also some classic modules that are not based on the original Doom, but that look like the original Doom. id Software pretty much just made them from scratch. And of course, along with the classic modules, there's also a whole new selection of classic Doom props that you can place. So, these are all pulled from the original game. So you can place candles, torches, gore decorations, and things like that. So it's really cool that they've added those in, and they've even added in classic Doom music, which I'm very happy about. So, before all you could really choose when you wanted to play music in your maps was just the new Doom music. You didn't have any classic music at all. But now there's a pretty large selection of classic Doom tracks. It's not all of the tracks from Doom and Doom 2, but there is a pretty large selection of them. So that's pretty awesome, and that really takes us one step further to being able to recreate like a true classic Doom map with modern Doom graphics and sort of the modern Doom gameplay and weapons and stuff. So you can mix and match, and I'm glad that they have finally put in some of this classic stuff. Now, something else that they've added that I think is just a huge change and is very awesome is blocking volumes can now have actual textures applied to them. If you remember before, with the blocking volumes, all you could do was you could give them a solid color, or you could give them what they called a texture, but that was actually, it was just kind of a rough looking texture, like just a really generic texture, and you could color it. That's all you could do. It was super limited. But now they actually have a pretty large selection of textures that you can place on these volumes. They have classic Doom textures, which is really cool because you can make your own classic Doom rooms and stuff just by using these volumes. And there are also some modern textures that have a modern high-res look to them. So this is just really cool. They've also given us the ability now to add like a block demon property to the blocking volumes, and that way demons won't just go right through them. And the blocking volumes can even block their line of sight now, so you can make true rooms with these blocking volumes finally. And you can sort of go crazy with them and do your own architecture and not have them look super generic and just be like a solid color. So this has really, in my opinion, been a long time coming. I think they should have done this from the start, but I'm glad they have finally implemented it, and this is going to allow people to design some awesome architecture from scratch. And like I said, you can even design like complete rooms with this now. Another big change to SnapMap is that you can now connect campaign levels. So you can have levels like single player levels that follow one after another. So for example, you can have like a map 1, and then when you beat it, you sort of go back to the lobby, and then there's a continue option, and when you press that, it goes to level 2, and you can sort of string together a whole bunch of levels and make your own mini campaign or like a mini classic Doom episode. So that's very cool. And they've also added in like a campaign style intro. Before, like whenever you started a map, it would I guess the intro screen would just be a camera looking like near where the player start was, and it would say match starting or something like that. Well, now You can use a campaign intro just like in single player, where it's like a black screen and you have like these like embers coming up and fire near the bottom, and then the name of the map in the lower right. You've got that same kind of intro now that you can use to make your map seem even more polished and even more campaign-like. So those are the biggest changes for me, and again, I just think those are massive changes that have taken SnapMap to a new level. The classic Doom stuff, the fact that you can now put actual textures on blocking volumes, and the fact that you can now connect campaign levels together. But that's not all. There's a whole bunch of other changes, and I just wanted to mention a few miscellaneous things that they added and that I personally really like. I don't think these are as big a deal as the things that I mentioned before, but they're still pretty cool. So one thing is that you can now place decals down. You can place like blood decals, footprints. You can have letters and numbers like for messages on the wall and things like that. So that's really cool. They've also added the ability to play as the Revenant now with the demon. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think before you had only the Baron of Hell and the Mancubus. Those were the only two, but now you have the Baron, the Mancubus, and the Revenant. So I've been waiting for the Revenant for a really long time, so I'm glad they did that. They've added the ability to preview cameras directly in the editor instead of having to constantly go in your map and test over and over to make sure that the camera was looking at what exactly you wanted it to see, and that the FOV was just right and things like that. You can now look through the camera inside the editor without having to go inside the game and test it at all. So that's a really big improvement. And something else that I think is really cool, I guess it's kind of gimmicky, but I still find it cool, is they've added in this new type of conversation system. To me, it's almost like Banjo Kazooie. I know that's a really weird comparison, but the reason that I compared it to Banjo Kazooie is when you have these transmissions, if you want to, you can choose a voice for the transmission, and whatever voice you choose, it will, of course, accompany the text that you type. And instead of actually, trying to pronounce the words or anything like that, it's kind of just speaking gibberish. I just thought that was a cool little touch that they added. And like I said, it is a little silly, a little gimmicky, but I do think it's really cool. But I think I've covered just about everything. I highly recommend that you guys check this out. I know that there's probably many of you out there who've already given up on SnapMap, and who knows, maybe you've just uninstalled Doom altogether. But I highly recommend checking it out again, and just looking at all these new things that they've added, because I guarantee that you're really going to like a lot of these things. The classic modules are awesome, and being able to build your own stuff from the ground up with the blocking volumes that you can now give textures to is just something that was nowhere near possible before. So I believe that's it. If you guys have any questions about this, or about this update, or about SnapMap, just let me know. And thanks for watching. And this is Chubb signing out.